What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Two Guys Rambling. I'm Matt.
I'm Javi.
And we are back here again for another podcast, another episode, another conspiracy. Cue X-Files music. No, right? In the background.
We get copyright strike.
Yeah, no, for real. We easily get copyright strike. But we are here for another podcast today. Today we are going over ancient civilizations, and we're going to talk about all kinds of off-the-wall shit. I mean, the way Two Guys Rambling does, man, right? All the stuff we talk about, it's crazy, off the wall, but it's going to be a good time. And we're going to talk about everything from Hancock to Atlantis to aliens helping us build big-ass pyramids and everything else, all kinds of everything, right? I mean, everything in history, how history ties back into all that good stuff. But as always, the first thing we always do is we are going to do our cut and our light with our cigars. Talk about our cigars real quick, what we're smoking, and I guess we're going to say the thing now, right? This cut and the light's brought to you by Club Humidor San Antonio. So if you are in San Antonio, make sure you go stop in, tell them Two Guys sent you, and they've got 3 locations: San Pedro, Huebner,
Thousand Oaks.
So make sure you go in there, drop by, see them, tell them Two Guys Rambling sent you, because we got a lot of good things cooking up with them over there. So make sure you go take a look at that. But other than that, we're gonna cut in our light. Javi, what are you smoking today?
The CHF, the one Joe made, Joe Torres at Club Humidor San Pedro. One of the better cigars. Actually, I bought 30 of these and 30 of the other ones, so they're pretty damn good. So
yeah,
I think they still have some. So if you get some, get some.
No, yeah. If there's anything you go get, that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, because good luck finding it anywhere else.
Because you won't.
Sometimes I want to talk like cigar gossip on here, but then I think we'll get hit with like a fucking get sued for defamation.
Nah, I don't think so.
I mean, from this one B&M around San Antonio, I don't want to talk about.
I am smoking the Easter Wabbit. The only guy that can legally use the name Wabbit made this one, so good for him, Justin. But that's my thing in the cigar world. Like, if a guy's got something, he does something, and like, don't take his shit, dude. Come up with your own fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's my big thing.
Oh, and then
I'm gonna use this guy.
Oh, the nice one.
It's not even that
Hey,
nice.
you want to tell the
cheap.
viewers about Sans Parai? That we might have an interview in the works in the future?
So it does look like David from Sans Parai is going to come on and do an interview with us, and we are going, I mean, that already, just meeting him, we met him yesterday.
It was awesome.
And just meeting him, the short
nice
time
guy.
we did, I mean, what a fucking awesome guy. He really, really is super cool, down to earth. He hasn't been with the company very long, maybe a few months now. I take that back. I think he's been with the company, but he just moved to a new position in the company. And the work that he has already done, this is my thing. And I was very honest with him when I talked to him. Sans Parai felt very stagnant. They weren't coming out with anything new. The OG shit that we were trying to find, like the gold and all that stuff, wasn't coming out.
And the green, you kept hearing about the green, but exactly. It never came out.
It became like a myth that everybody talked about, right? That the green was like, hey, did you get the green in yet? Did you get the green in yet? Because we heard for years that we were going to get it in. Never got it in. This guy comes in, and all of a sudden we're seeing the green. We get the new gold, which is fucking phenomenal. It's a very, very good cigar.
Yes. It's worth the $75.
It's definitely worth the $75. It's worth the $75. Go in, try it one time, sit there with your friends, enjoy it. And that's a phenomenal celebratory cigar. Like, if you're going to sit down, you're going to celebrate something big, new promotion, new baby, whatever it may be, that is the stick you go and get. Absolutely. I love Davidoff. I think Davidoff is a really good brand. It's an OG brand. I think the stuff that Zeno Davidoff did for the cigar industry was phenomenal. But Sans Parai is definitely giving them a run for their money.
Oh, 100%.
I feel in every way. And the other thing too is that if you like more full body cigars, you can get that in Sans Parai.
Yep.
You don't get a lot lot of in Davidoff. I guess now you're starting to see them play.
Yeah, like with the Millennium.
Yeah, and
then the
Maduro and even the
Late Hour.
The Late Hour. What's the other one that they came out with? The one that had 2014 on the bed. The one that I really like.
Nicaragua?
No, but they did come out with a Nicaragua one. I can't remember what it was called. The Dominicana.
Dominicana is a Dominicana.
Dominicana is an amazing cigar. Amazing cigar.
Maybe one day we'll go half on a crate.
Yeah, no kid. Fuck, I couldn't imagine. Or it could be like Dan Cruz, dude, and buy 3 crates or whatever. But
what does he have? Like 1,200 Dominicanas?
Like something
Must
like
be
that.
nice.
Stupid, man. That's why go down to the bottom, like, comment, subscribe, so that way
we can buy that
Javi
crate.
can start buying crates, because that'd be fantastic. Please. No, but before all that stuff, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, check out the Patreon. Me and Javi were just talking about it. We're going to start seeing more cigar reviews on the Patreon, so keep an eye out for those. But that's going to be a good time too. So other than that, let's get into our first topic, which is absolutely one of my favorites. I didn't hear about this guy until Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I don't think anybody. Well, no, his book. A lot of people loved his books, but
he had a book, and he was really, really good.
Who was searching for those, though? You know?
He was already big in the, what are they like? I don't know, alternative history guru
circles?
Kind of people. You know what I mean? Yeah, he
like
was already really, really big.
They're not the same as flat earthers.
I don't
they're not
think
the
they're
same.
Yeah, I don't think they're the same as flat earthers, because
flat earthers are bad.
Whoa!
Maybe we should get one on and just pick his brain.
Dude, that'd be fun. I'm down to get a flat earther in here. But of course, we're talking about Graham Hancock and his ancient apocalypse theory. Javi, take us into this one, man. Teach us the ways of Graham Hancock.
So essentially, Graham Hancock believes that there was an advanced civilization way before what we have recorded for our civilization, and that civilization wiped itself out, or somehow got wiped out by natural disasters and stuff like that, or they nuked themselves to oblivion. Lots of stuff like that. And he goes off of like looking at the pyramids and saying the pyramids are 12,000 years old. If you look at the water erosion on them, and that the Egyptians inherited like the pyramids, they didn't build them, because what we looked yesterday, and the pyramids are 4,500 years old.
Yeah, 4,700
years old. But he says, nah, they're
blows my mind, man.
Yeah, that's like relatively young, right?
That doesn't feel like it's doesn't feel like it's very old. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, 4,700 years is a long time, but it just doesn't feel right. So
he was saying that essentially there's a lot of structures throughout the world that you can go and look at, and it's like, oh, well, you know, someone with sophistication had to have built this or had to have built that. So he's traveled all over the world looking at stuff like that. You can watch like the Joe Rogan podcast and hear some of his theories straight from his mouth. But a lot of archaeologists disagree with him hardcore, because they think he's kind of full of it, and that he nitpicks information, and that it isn't actually. A lot of his theories aren't plausible.
Yeah, a lot of his theories aren't plausible. He pulls a lot of stuff out, like he cherry picks the information from it. Which, I mean, doesn't everybody that studies history kind of cherry pick information? Which
it goes back to one of our other ones with the Smithsonian censorship, that fucking conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Well, you know who they say that was like at the front of that, right?
Who?
Neil deGrasse Tyson. They say that's why he's touted so highly now, is because he fell into the, we're gonna cover this shit up and nobody's gonna find out.
I could see that because he's so passionate about calling other scientists like crackpots and stuff.
And this guy's going on like tour and all kinds of stuff now.
And you have to look at, I mean, I get where other archaeologists come from, because it's kind of like, I spent my life's work and you're going to tell me I was wrong, I was incorrect, and make me look like a fool. I'm not going to make any more money. I'm not going to sell books. I'm not going to get funding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And did you talk about like how there's no catalysmic evidence?
Oh, no, I haven't touched on that. I was just giving like a general overview of what he believes.
Okay. Yeah, so that's one of the big things. That's one of the arguments against Hancock's theory, is that there's no cataclysmic events that destroyed evidence, such as like later that we'll get into, where Atlantis fell into the ocean, right?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. The other thing is that there are fingerprints of this lost civilization in later cultures.
Yeah, like the Sumerians. The Sumerians were the first ones, because, okay, hold on. Different guy's theory. We'll stick with Graham Hancock, then we'll hop into that guy's theory.
And we'll see how they could potentially tie together.
But they say the Sumerians were the first civilization that actually wrote stuff down. And I mean, besides cave paintings, because
Yeah.
they have all those clay tablets and stuff like that. You know, fun fact, ancient civilization, they say a lot of our, if you look at our creation story in the Catholic Bible, it kind of mirrors some of the Sumerians' creation story in their texts. So,
and their stuff is from aliens, right?
We'll find out.
Yeah. So kind of the debunking arguments of Hancock's are the lack of physical evidence for a global advanced society, right? Because that's the whole, our civilization. That's the whole theory, is that they were way ahead of their time.
Yeah, like flying ships,
yeah.
could go to space.
You were able to, the kind of food that they were able to grow it very quickly. And so, mainstream says that there's a lack of evidence there. Misrepresenting of archaeological data. They say that he gets a lot of information and twists it up.
Yeah, he doesn't interpret it correctly.
Yeah, and that's the hard part, right? Because some of these like languages that they're looking at and reading about, nobody to this day knows how to read them. Nope. Completely, or nobody knows. And then if somebody does come out and say, "Hey, I do know how to this," they're going to try to debunk him too. And so that's the crazy thing about it too. So ancient structures and knowledge can be explained by known civilizations. Like,
I guess it kind of, but you never see. I mean, maybe they do have it written down. And I haven't looked it up and found it, but you never see the Egyptians write down exactly how they built the pyramids.
Yeah, I don't think there's any clear text of that, right? That's kind of weird. And you would think so. And the scientific consensus is there's no evidence of a single advanced global civilization 12,000 years ago. Human technological and cultural advancements were gradual and independent. Ancient structures and knowledge can be explained by known civilizations, and similarities in myths and structures due to common human experience and independent inventions.
Here, I guess you want to talk about some of the older structures? At the top. Some of the structures he'll talk about is the, alright, I'm gonna butcher this, but it's off the coast of Japan. It's the Yonaguni Monument. So essentially it looks kind of like a pyramid. It has straight lines, it has corners, it's in the middle of the water, but Japan doesn't recognize it as they don't recognize it at all. But the reason Graham Hancock talks about it is because he says, where in nature do you see straight lines and perfect corners like that? And he was trying to talk about well, that has to be someone built that. So there's no reason someone didn't. And then people try and debunk it and say that, oh no, when the plates shift and in nature you can find straight lines like that because during earthquakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because Japan doesn't recognize it. It's not a protected site. It's nothing. It's just, oh look, those are rocks in the water.
Damn, that's crazy. My favorite is Göbekli Tepe, is an ancient civilization that was. These again were said to have incredible advancements in technology, and even when we say technology, though, it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody had flying cars and stuff. But they were able to have immense populations, and they were able to grow a lot of food and stuff like that.
Okay, so the city I'm talking about, they say it was only built 2,300 years ago, but
we talked about it on the conspiracy theories, I think. Yeah,
the underground city, yeah. Because he also, talks about that one hey, that one's pretty crazy to think a culture 2,300 years ago built an underground city that big, because it can hold 2,000 people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Especially for back then where you have no, equipment, right? To pull, no, I guess, mechanical equipment to pull shit out of, go cut holes and stuff. I have that.
No way. Ain't no way.
That's crazy, dude. The other thing, too, is a lot of the similarities between cultures, right? In a lot of the cultures, there's a story of a flood or some kind of disaster that completely wipes out a certain area. Which is crazy to think of that a lot of the ancient cultures have that same beginning story.
Yeah.
And, and
then they all worship, like, they all have pyramids in a certain way. The Mayans, the Aztecs. And they all worship, like, gods from the stars and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then the other thing, too, that Hancock points out is, like, how did these guys go and build the pyramids and somehow align them to the stars?
Yeah, because they say the Giza pyramids, right, have actual, like, alignments with the stars.
Alignments with the stars, which is mind-blowing, because it's like, is there a guy, like, they're, like, waiting to see the star and then just fucking plant the rock? Like, we build here. We start here and everybody builds out. Like that, that's just crazy to me, dude. Like, and I think that's what makes me believe in the idea of aliens coming down and helping out, because that stuff just doesn't make sense to me. I just don't know how. And then, then talk about, like, the size of the rocks that were used to build the pyramids, how big they were, and how much, like, how much power you would need to move all those rocks. And to do it without any mechanical equipment, and it's just guys, like, just slaves at that time.
Yeah, and the reason, like, we bring this up and stuff like that is because Göbekli Tepe kind of, they said the pyramids were made 4,700 years ago. Göbekli Tepe was made 10,000 years ago. So kind of whatever archaeologists believed, we started at this many thousand years ago. Let's say 5,000. Well, that just completely does away with their theory, because now it's 10,000.
Yeah.
So that's why Graham Hancock was saying the pyramids were made 12,000. Like, it's not really grasping at straws if they were able to make Göbekli Tepe in 10,000 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, because we're just supposed to believe that there's no advancements in between those times.
Yeah, because most of the pillars in Göbekli Tepe weigh 20 to 60 tons. So he was like, how did they move those? How did they shift those around? And it was like, there was actual sophistication to the way the buildings were laid out. And I'm not calling, like, ancient humans dumb. It's just, you don't see
There was limitations.
Yeah, limitations, like, to what they could do. Like, even today, there's limitations to what we can do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And in 4,000 years, 10,000 years, they're going to say, like, man, how did these people not be able to make this?
Yeah, they're going to be like, bro, it was so easy.
Yeah,
I mean, as long as we don't nuke ourselves to oblivion.
Well, fingers crossed. Let's hope not. So,
I mean, it's not one of his theories, but I've kind of heard him talk about, like, well, maybe the ancient civilizations, like, nuked each other.
Yeah. Well, there was some kind of, he doesn't exactly say, I don't think, but there's some sort of catastrophic disaster, right?
Because it brings up the Ice Age a lot, and then the Younger Dryas, because Egypt used to be a rainforest, and then, what was it? The poles shift, which then, like, they don't shift slowly, like, in one day. He said they'll, like, not just him, there's other people where they'll shift completely, and within, like, 30 minutes, one area will be underwater, another area will be, like, just gone. It just, I mean, it kind of, I get what he's saying.
Yeah, I get it too. I get it, I understand it. A lot of the controversy from Hancock, though, is like his Netflix series, Ancient Apocalypse, sparked a ton of debate when it came out.
Yeah, they didn't want it to even be on Netflix. They
didn't want it to air. And which I don't like, right? One, because whatever, man. Somebody wants to come out and be a flat earther or whatever. Like, that's the importance of the media not needing to censor people necessarily. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some things that need to be censored, right? Like, you can't be dicing people up on live TV.
No.
But if you want to come out with a new theory or something like that, you have that freedom to do that. That's why YouTube's so big. That's why you have, like, all these other things like Rumble and all that stuff that are so big, because you're able to do that. And that goes into the whole theory of everybody filtering out the data that's coming out from history, is like to not let, this guy's idea come out. And it's not like he doesn't have an idea that isn't backed in some way. There's a lot of people that come out and back it, including scientists that come out and back it. So, if you've got that kind of following, I don't see why you wouldn't allow something like this to happen. The accusations of promoting pseudoscience and undermining archaeology. I mean, I guess, right? Like, I guess there's some sort of pseudoscience to it. If he's cherry picking information.
See, but that also goes back to, how archaeologists thought, like, the Triceratops, because Matt and I learned this when we went to the museum in Houston. Triceratops were only scaly like reptiles. Well, then come to find out they had feathers. Like, you can look it up. The museum in Houston has an actual skin from a triceratops that has like dimples in it. That we're talking to,
like the way you would see it on a chicken.
Yeah, we're talking to the archaeologist there because he was like walking around like, "You have any questions?" And they actually had feathers on them. So that completely changed a bunch of years.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I mean? For what they thought like dinosaurs would have, it completely shifted. And the same thing with velociraptors. Look at what
Jurassic Park.
Thank you. Look at what Jurassic Park, like, oh, they're so big, and then in reality they're the size of turkeys.
Yeah,
except for a certain velociraptor or certain raptor, but
and right, that was pseudoscience for a long time. Imagine one scientist coming out and be like, "Oh, you know what? These motherfuckers, they had feathers on them."
Yeah.
You know, and then you go to find out, and you know, everybody, I'm sure at the time,
it's like, you're
crazy. Like, you're crazy. There's no way that they had feathers on them. And they come to find out that they did have feathers on them. Like, I think all science starts at pseudoscience.
Or like how they just assume how a T-Rex sounds, and then finally they had an AI analyze like and then play what it sounds like.
Yeah. Or for hundreds of years, we thought the Earth was flat and the sun revolved around us.
Yep.
And we were the center of the universe. Like,
and then even the Catholic Church, when you would tell them that, they'd freaking, you're gonna get killed you'll die for that.
Yeah, you know, like there's so much that goes on that starts as pseudoscience and then comes out to be real. How do we know that these aren't one of those things? That's my big thing, and that's where I stay with it. The other thing too is I like theorizing about things, right?
Yeah.
Like, I like theorizing about things.
That's what helps people learn. That's what keeps them learning.
Yeah.
Because then they're like, oh, I'm gonna go look that up. I'm gonna go see if that's true.
My curiosity is that if they don't want, all right, be ready for this. If they don't want the years to change that civilization started because it'll destroy the ideologies that are in Christianity.
I could see it, because if you look at, we're going to get into Catholicism.
You know what? Like, that's what I think about. Like, that's my biggest argument why they won't let.
Because if you look at our creation story, it mirrors some other religions' creation stories. And just like the Sumerians, it kind of mirrors some of theirs. And it plays into like, we kind of talked about it last podcast where, and we're going to touch on it here soon, where kind of how Mars fell out of the Goldilocks zone, and then we're going to fall out, and then Mars is going to fall back into the Goldilocks zone. But by the time that happens, we should have space travel and all that. So we should be able to flee.
To flee.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of like mirrors, hey, maybe
and you know, if you
maybe
think
the aliens
are
just us.
If you think about it that way, right? Mm-hmm. That we have to flee. We're not going to be able to take everything with us to flee. Right? We got to get out. So then wouldn't we know, okay, cool, we have to start with agriculture and we have to start with hunting and gathering.
Unless they really goofed and it was one ship and then they started with hunter-gatherers.
You know what I mean? Like it.
Or there was already hunter-gatherers starting.
Oh, and then they just jumped in.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, oh, look, they're the gods. Worship them.
Yeah.
And then, we'll show you how to make all these structures and show you how to, you know?
Yeah. And then the other thing that scientists argue against Graham Hancock is the fact that it might play into people's minds just too much, right? Like, they just might take it and run with it and like everything, right? People just...
Yeah. Well, my whole thing is,
take something
like, we're going to say he's full of shit, but yeah, we're going to look at the government finally coming out and being like, oh, aliens? You know, might be real. We'll let you guys know, though. Like UFOs, we can't explain them, but here's all the footage that we have. It's crazy,
let's get back into that, because we got... There's a segment in here too, so like, let's get back to that. But like, you know, like the concern about, like, I understand that you want to keep quote unquote real history, right? But that doesn't mean that we can't kill another guy's ideologies or findings because people are crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's the whole thing that frustrates me so much, is that, you know, when one person does something, then the rest of society has to feel the repercussions of it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's my thing. And obviously I'm saying one person, but it would be, you know, thousands of people, I'm sure. But I don't know. It stresses me out that we would kill somebody's hypothesis because of other people's interactions, right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing you got to pay attention to is cultural impact. And I think Graham Hancock going on Joe Rogan and doing the Joe Rogan thing.
He has a cultural impact. He's helping people think.
Exactly. He's opening that side up of their brain that maybe it is possible.
And then maybe he's getting more people to get interested in archaeology.
That is also true. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, maybe that'll create that burn in maybe kids that are listening or younger adults that are listening and saying, hey, you know what? Maybe that I want to go the archaeological route.
And I want to find out for myself.
Exactly. And want to go learn and do those things. And good for them, dude. If that's what they want to go and you want to go be a fucking archaeologist, archaeology, you need to wear a leather handbag. You got to have a hat and a whip. Everybody knows that.
100%. Yeah. Like Indiana Jones.
Dun, 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 dun. We already said this, right? But it's popular among alternative history enthusiasts. It influences new age belief and conspiracy theories. And it criticizes for potential undermining scientific literacy. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, we talked about that right now.
Yeah, fuck off with that. That just stresses me out.
Just let people be free thinkers. Let them think for themselves.
Yeah,
And I get everyone's like, well, that's bad sometimes. Well, let them fuck around and find out.
Hitler was a free thinker. That's what they're gonna say. That's what everyone's gonna say. They said Hitler was a free thinker and he thought, and that's not what we're saying.
That's
right?
not what we're saying. No.
That's going above and beyond and trying to make a point. Like when you have people that have an idea, they have an ideology, something like this, right? Where it's an alternative history. Fucking run with it, man. Run with it. If you can find evidence to back it up,
awesome.
And you can find a team that will work with you and also find that evidence.
You mean like Graham Hancock?
Yeah, exactly. Literally. That's my thing. And you can't just come out and say, you know what? I believe that history started 20,000 years ago.
Okay, no.
There's got to be evidence to back it up.
Yeah, exactly.
There's got to be some sort of evidence, even if it's cherry picking.
Can I already hear the comments?
Huh?
Well, there's no evidence to back up Graham Hancock.
Well, there is evidence though. And, who's to say that he's the one misinterpreting?
Yeah.
That's my thing. Who's the one to say that he's the one misinterpreting that stuff? I don't know. Anyways, next theory is going to take us into the deep blue. We're going to go for a little swim because now we're talking about the Atlantis Mystery. Dun, dun, dun. And not the SpongeBob Atlantis. Have you ever seen that episode?
No.
No, really?
Oh, yeah, I have.
I gotta show a picture, at least. I wonder, this is where I need to figure out, dude, what kind of clips we can use. Because I'll put a clip of this in the fucking video.
I know some people, what they do is they'll slow down the video or they'll make the voices higher so they can't copyright it. But I don't know if that works all the time.
This. Huh?
All right, I have not seen that one.
No,
okay.
That's an Atlantean.
That's terrifying.
Look at this guy.
Are they still making SpongeBob?
Huh. I don't know, actually.
That's terrifying.
Something else. You know what? They're coming out with a movie. A Sandy Cheeks movie. Because even fake women got to be up front.
Savage.
So this is Atlantis. All right. That's where we're traveling next. Javi, you wanna start us off here?
Yeah, because it was first mentioned by Plato. In his dialogues called Timaeus and Critias. And it was basically described as like a powerful island nation. And it was beyond the Strait of Gibraltar, which was called like the Pillars of Hercules.
Which so sad that they're not still there.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it?
It was nice.
Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
That's stupid cool.
It was.
Like, imagine being able to still see that today is fucking...
That's why you need to, be scuba diving so we can go off Greece. Come on.
Right. I'm not.
You and I, me and you.
Hell no. So it allegedly sank into the ocean in a single day and night due to a natural disaster. Imagine that shit, dude. Another peaceful night in Atlantis. Oh my God, right? What is that rumbling?
See, but a lot of...
in my mind, when it sinks to the bottom, it does like that weird floaty thing.
Very slow.
Yeah.
But a lot of... they say there's not enough evidence because they've mapped the sea floor and stuff like that, and that they can't see or find anything like a big city down there. And other people kind of say, well, if the tectonic plates shifted, what if, all right, hear me out. We're going to grasp at straws here. Fell into a giant sinkhole. Earthquake covered up. Grasping at straws. Because Because you know how the plates shift and they'll like hit together?
Yeah, no, I get it.
I'm like, seal them up. They're gone.
They're gone. That's what happened. They fell under the Titanic plates, man. Come on. Everybody knows that. Be real, okay? Be serious, guys. The thing about Atlantis, right? And the key aspects of the Atlantis mystery.
See, but my whole thing is one of the key... Okay, no, I'll let you go. I'll let you run.
Is that it was an advanced civilization with superior technology and knowledge. These guys were supposed to have like flying cars and I mean, just you threw a jetpack on and flew to work. I don't know. That's the way I picture an advanced technology.
Right?
My advanced technology. God, dude, I need to figure out if I can put clips in.
It's just like the compass. Whoa.
North, west.
You don't have to follow the stars.
No, the way I envision like advanced technologies. Do you remember Spy Kids?
Yeah.
Remember when they put that like little packet of McDonald's into the microwave and they close it and it pops out like a fresh burger and fries? That's advanced technology.
Yeah, that is 100%.
That's advanced technology.
We're gonna get those one day. We're gonna get there. I might be dead, but we're gonna get
goal. There. I just want to see them. Circular city design with concentric rings of land and water.
I get that kind of like in Dubai.
Yeah. They have like the half circle, right? But it's like a full circle and your streets are circles and even the waterways through the city are all in circles.
All right. I feel like Atlantis is grasping at straws right now.
It's follow the circles, Javi. Follow the circles, okay? Just walk the circle. It's Atlantis.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, all right. I don't know. Like, what the fuck's the key to?
Yeah, honestly, and they're like a powerful naval force that conquered parts of Europe and Africa. Okay, but why don't we hear about their navy then?
This is true.
And then they got defeated by ancient
Javi,
Athens.
The scientists are covering it up.
Yeah, but then they got defeated by ancient Athens, and they're like, but they had amazing technology. If they had amazing technology, why did they get defeated by ancient Athenians?
The Athenians were stronger. That's why.
It's because they rubbed themselves in olive oil.
That's the secret.
Yeah. Okay. Straight out of freaking 300.
The bullets that the Atlanteans had made don't go through olive oil.
They're for ghosts.
Yeah. The powerful navy force that conquered parts of Europe and Africa is crazy because I'd never heard that before researching this topic.
Yeah, neither.
I'd never heard that was even an ideology from them. And wow, let me tell you, wow. And that is, I don't even know how to say to that, dude. That's something, dude. Popular theories about Atlantis' location. They think that it may be in Greece. It could be off the shores of Greece, I'd say. It could be in Bimini Road, Bahamas.
So yeah, that's what
I've never been to the Bahamas.
Graham Hancock talks about. There's like a road under the water,
and that's the road to Atlantis.
He says it was like one of the big.
Let me ask you this, Javi: is the road made of circles?
No.
Then it's not to Atlantis. That's the rule, okay? Everybody knows that.
Why would they have roads if they were a circular pattern, right?
Yeah, right. How do you get out of it if you just go in circles? You just oval your way out there, just circles.
Oh God! Right turn.
Antarctica.
Okay, that I kind of fuck with it.
Because at one time
they say there's pyramids in Antarctica.
Well, not only that, but while researching this too, apparently Antarctica, there's maps that show Antarctica without ice. And if you know Antarctica's there, I would assume that you would know that it's ice, right? Because you would have to have seen it at this time. Well, at any time we map anything out, it's because we've seen it. Right? Yeah. Whether it be through a satellite or whatever, pictures, whatever it may be, we know it's there because of photographs or whatever it may be. Somebody's seen it. So if somebody knows Atlantis is there, or Antarctica, Jesus Christ. Now, every time I think about Antarctica, I'm going to think of Atlantis, dude. Fuck me. We know that it was there, or they know that it was there. They drew the map of it, and they drew it without ice. So what is to say that it wasn't there? That's more believable than it just so happened to fall in between the tectonic plates, and it just covered it up.
Yeah, 100%.
You know? And then in Spain's Doña National Park.
Yeah, I don't. That one's like number 4 for a reason.
This is my question. Is there circles? That's what I need to know.
If it's not circular,
if it's not circular, it's not Atlantis. That's all I know at this point. Okay. Go over this, Javi.
All right. So the evidence cited by Atlantis believers, which we are not, obviously, the underwater structures and formations, they're in various locations. Okay, how do they move to those various locations? Why are we talking Spain, Bahamas, Antarctica? Similarities in ancient myths and flood stories across cultures. Okay, the flood stories I've heard. Yeah. We've both heard. Yep, it's even in the Catholic Bible. That a great flood that God did. Interpretations of ancient maps and texts.
So I know for a fact, I'll find it and put it somewhere. I know for a fact that there are maps that show Atlantis in
maybe we're thinking maps. Too big. Maybe it was just like
I think it's just a city,
like Port A.
Atlantis is in Port A. Nah, imagine, right? Follow the circles. I think I don't know. I don't believe this.
Well, if you spell out Atlantis, that's 8 letters allegedly, and then if you spell Port Aransas backwards
and throw the circles in there, Atlantis. I don't know, man.
You know how people do that, or they like use numbers. They say Graham Hancock does that a lot. And one of the guys that was archaeologist on Joe Rogan's thing that was interviewing him was like, "Hey Graham, like, do these numbers then," and he did, and it came out to like 6969. And Graham didn't like understand. He's like, "Bro, you can make anything. Yeah, the numbers, like, it's easy."
So the debunking argument obviously is that if it fell in between 2 tectonic plates is crazy. Just roll with Antarctica, okay? Roll with Antarctica. Nobody's allowed to go there anyways, unless you're a scientist. It's like, if you want a good theory to stick, or a good, conspiracy theory to stick, you gotta make it a little believable.
Yeah. Atlantis is very hard.
Atlantis is reaching, man. That is reaching. It's like the old...
I know what you're gonna say. I don't know if we can say it.
Reach from behind, He said, I knew what you were gonna say. So I don't know if we can say that. So if this is not on YouTube anymore, you won't even see it. So there we go. So debunking arguments are lack of archaeological evidence, obviously. Plato's accounts as allegory, geological impossibilities.
Yeah, okay.
Who would have thought that? Chronological issues
and misinterpretations of ancient texts and maps.
I think misinterpretations is just going to be everywhere today. If there's anything,
like me trying to read Spanish,
like me trying to read my own.
Oh my God, that says biblioteca, so therefore that is the mall.
Yeah, that's the restroom. I don't know, man. This one's hard. The scientific consensus is Atlantis is considered a fictional place by mainstream scholars, obviously. Elements of the story may be inspired by real events. Maybe. The myth likely combines various cultural memories, and Plato's imagination. Plato was a theorist.
Yeah.
That's the important thing to remember about Plato too. Yeah, he was a theorist. He did a lot of sitting there and what if this happened here with this? And like that's just the way he was. So how do we know that this guy wasn't trying to grasp at straws and be like, what if, there was this ancient civilization?
Yeah, all right. I'm tired of Atlantis. Let's move on. It's too much fucking grasping. Now we're going to get into it.
This is fun stuff. This is where
that dude with the crazy hair comes out, and for some reason everyone thinks he's thinks he's legit. And it's like, what's your background, sir?
Yeah, he was like, I worked in a library for like 6 years.
Right. And I researched in my Winnebago. And all of it aligned. We get hit with defamation from that guy?
No,
we're not saying his name.
Yeah, we're not saying his name. You know who we're talking
it's
about.
It's like HIPAA. You don't say their name.
Oh, see, it's fine.
Then you can just give a description. And
if you take anything from today's episode, Javi is deathly terrified of getting a suit for defamation.
Don't sue me, please. Or else we're going to have to hire people. And it won't be legal.
Oh my God.
Wait, I gotta ask my lawyer if that was what I say.
Are you actually asking your lawyer right now? Or?
No.
Oh God. Jesus Christ.
So ancient alien theories, all right? Love this stuff. Who doesn't? So here's the core premise. The core premises: extraterrestrial beings visited Earth in ancient times. Aliens influenced or guided human civilizations in development, and evidence of their presence exists in ancient structures, arts, and texts. Right?
Yeah, obviously. Right? Like, there's so many places that we see different.
And yeah, because they say a lot of the ancient civilizations and stuff like that, they all kind of have the same like star cluster.
Yeah.
And it's all like the same galaxy. And some people say it's the Andromeda, and a lot of people say if aliens are real, they'd be coming from the Andromeda galaxy, which is like 50 light years away or some shit. But I don't know. It's kind of hard for us as just spitballing to... Because I don't feel like archaeologists don't really... Let's tie all this together, because a lot of them, they're academics and stuff. They like solid concrete evidence. And there was no solid concrete evidence that aliens existed. There still kind of isn't. But the government was like, hey, you guys want to see some crazy shit?
Yeah, exactly.
But you still have to pay your taxes. So
the main claims is like ancient structures built with alien assistance. Ancient art depicts aliens and their technologies. Like we see the very famous one with the guy in the suit, and he's like sitting in a spacecraft in the sky.
Yeah,
which is crazy to me.
Or the ancient painting from Catholicism. Was it Alexander the Great or something, where he saw ships in the sky?
In the background, yeah. Ancient texts describes alien visitations, and then humans are genetically engineered by aliens as well too, which is another crazy thing. But
one of the biggest proponents, humans were genetic? Did we get to that? Humans were genetically engineered?
No.
Okay, you wanna? Where are we at?
It was ancient texts described alien visitations. And then humans were genetically engineered.
I've heard that theory because they say, look at monkeys are barely in the Bronze Age. And then look at not Bronze Age, what the fuck? Right? Putting on armor and stuff, Planet of the Apes. Death to human. So, I'm sorry. So monkeys are barely in the Stone Age.
There you go.
And they're barely learned how to fish. That was pretty cool. Watching them fish.
If we've gotten to the point where I know I can add video in, cue it now.
And so... I get it where they're coming from with that, because they say for us, we jump too quickly.
I think I ashed in my coffee.
It's good for you. I heard that's good for gut health.
Ew.
I've heard where they say we advance too quickly.
Yeah. How do we get here so quickly?
Like, bro, you're on a computer mirroring to a screen.
Yeah.
We're in space.
Yep.
We have self-driving cars.
Well, it's like Roswell, New Mexico. They say that the U.S. went, grabbed it, and that's how we got night vision. That's how we got the idea of spacesuits, like all kinds of stuff from it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
We reverse engineered it, and I 100% believe that. And so, if there was some kind of intervention, like look how fast, like Javi said, how fast we've evolved from nothing to taxation. No,
right?
No, but
fuck taxes, fuck you, IRS.
To like going from where we were to now being able to go to the moon and do all those things is blows my mind.
Some of the key proponents, we're going to talk about the first one, Eric von Däniken. I maybe said that right, didn't. So basically, a lot of he has like books and stuff, and his evidence that he cites in there is like ancient ruins, artifacts, religious texts, and unexplained phenomenons as potential. Like he's talking about the pyramids, the Nazca lines, which are the giant lines that are perfect that you can see from the sky, but they were man-made by, I believe, like indigenous people, whether it be the giant snake, or like different animals.
There's one that's a guy,
and he also looks at certain biblical passages and stuff. So he's a bestseller because he's sold over 7 million copies.
Jesus Christ!
And so, of course, it's been widely published, like widely criticized by the community, the scientific community, because they're like, "You have no evidence. None of that is real. You misinterpret stuff," and it's like flawed logic. Damn. But he uses a combination of like speculation, and then he ties in like ancient texts and stuff he's learned,
and misinterpretation of text, and no.
Because it's so, even though like they say he doesn't know what he's talking about, it's still good because it fuels people to think like, well, let me look at all this stuff and let me see, like, let me look for myself and research. Even though we're nobodies, it's still cool to look at and try to understand because there's some stuff you can find that people potentially overlook.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The alleged evidence, right, is the complexity of ancient structures beyond perceived capabilities of the time. We talk about pyramids, right? Talk about the pyramids. We talk about the Sphinx. We talk about all these different things that were huge. And I mean, absolutely. I even get a little concerned sometimes with the Romans.
Yes.
Hardcore, huge. We talk about the Hercules statue.
Yes.
That stood on the water, if I'm thinking of the right one. The one with his legs open, standing above water.
And how big their temples were.
Huge.
And their doors and their freaking cities.
The Library of Alexandria. Mm-hmm. Massive. You talk about, what is the garden? The Babylonian garden?
Yeah.
Is it Babylonian?
Are we talking about the floating garden?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the 7 wonders of the world or whatever. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like like we think about all these man-made structures, supposedly man-made structures that were humongous. I can't remember what that light tower was. There's a light tower one. Can't remember what it was.
Or the other one where they say what
the Alamo? Like, no, right?
Wait, hold on. Spanish missionaries. You build that. I mean, it was really racist. Dude. You build that. Hey, go to Catholicism or we kill you. And you build that church with slave labor or we kill you.
Yep. Catholics. Gotta love them. The similarities in myths and religions across cultures. This is a topic that obviously you see across the board, right? Because it's true, right? Like you see a lot of that same stuff come up over and over and over again. Along cultures. And even the next part we talk about, the out of place artifacts. The artifacts that you see, these small, supposedly primitive, like civilizations that are creating the same artifact in different places.
Like crazy stuff.
Without travel, across waters.
Yeah.
From in Mexico into the outskirts of Africa. Like how are we seeing the same thing when we don't even know that there's another body of land on the other side of this water?
Yep.
And
then why are they all sacrificing to gods?
Yeah.
Why is their big shtick of ancient civilizations is to kill people?
Or the wanting to look like them, right? You talk about the elongated skulls that they used to do with the bands, right?
Even they do it on their necks, remember?
Yeah, exactly. And it's all that idea of wanting to look like them and wanting to create.
It's like the Nazca mummies. Maybe we'll do an episode on that. The ones they discovered in Peru and they showed during the Mexican Congress.
Uh-huh.
Well, they did CAT scans of those, and those were actual living beings. Like they were crazy. Living beings, and now like American scientists have gone over there and looked at them. And they're like, this is a real species.
Yeah,
we don't know what it is, but it's real.
That's crazy. It's just those things that we see that and like we talk about. This is obviously not real or anything, right? But you talk about like Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull because they touch a lot on wanting to have that elongated skull and how these ancient civilizations wanted to look like their creators and wanted to look like the people that came down and helped them. This is where that plays into.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the debunking arguments are like, again, the misinterpretations of ancient capabilities, thinking like, no, we were definitely able to do this and you guys just need to wake up. The cultural misinterpretations, the lack of physical evidence, logical fallacies, ethnocentric, and potential racist undertones.
So the reason they say
the fuck did that come from?
The reason they say it's racist undertones is because you're basically claiming that these people who live in these areas are too dumb to make that themselves. And I'm like, well, no,
that's
because
dumb. We were all dumb at that time.
100%, yeah.
We were just believing
sacrificing people by the thousands.
Yeah, no.
I mean, the Egyptians were pretty smart, but
I give that one a thumbs down. Misunderstanding of evolutionary process. Okay. Selective use of evidence. And again, this is in all theories, in every theory, we get evidence and we interpret it the way we feel to align with our theory.
Yeah.
Like that's just the way theories work,
100%.
And the evolutionary process, I don't see how that ties into because we advance so quickly. Like we're
not saying we didn't evolve.
Yeah, we're just saying it happened faster. Or the controversy here is that they believed that we evolved quicker than we were necessarily supposed to. And again, we use that evidence to look at current day monkeys, right? That are now learning how to hunt and fish. So be ready for that one, because that's going to be fucking fun. The other thing is the scientific consensus. There's no credible evidence to support that ancient alien visitations. Yeah. I don't know. That don't make sense.
I mean, if that's an ancient text, there's going to be no scientific evidence. It's just text and what people wrote.
Yeah. I don't. Ancient achievements explainable through human ingenuity and gradual technological advancements. We still don't know how the pyramids were made.
We have an idea, but
but nobody knows for sure, and which makes sense, right? Because they don't really document it, or there's no full documentation of what they did. But you want to go, Javi?
So cultural impacts is like popularized through books, TV shows. Like an example is Ancient Aliens. There's like significant influences on sci-fi. Like you look at Aliens or Prometheus or Alien Covenant.
Yep.
And and like popular culture and stuff like that. But it's always criticized for promoting pseudoscience and undermining archaeological research. But I get that it undermines, but it also makes people more intrigued because if you're like, look at this old bone.
Yeah.
Like more people are like, nah, I want to find something about aliens or something that's cool, like Indiana Jones type stuff.
Yeah.
Or like how they were using is it LiDAR or what is it to look through the canopies? LiDAR, I think.
Yeah, it's LiDAR.
With the plane, they're finding way more pyramids. Inside the jungle that they can't even get to because of the jungle.
Yeah, it's just so much stuff out there, you know. This one.
So psychological appeal. Yeah, of course. Look at us. We're talking about it right now. Mm-hmm. Like some people say it offers like simple explanations for complex historical questions.
That's how you sound if you say that.
And it like taps into our fascination with extraterrestrial life. Of course.
Yeah.
It's fun to think about and talk about that. Like you want to listen to us being like, well, in 50 A, B, C, D, E, 58 people died from water. Whoa. This would be a boring podcast.
Yeah, for real.
So
about that shit.
It also provides a sense of cosmic significance to human history. Yeah, honestly, because it makes us feel like we're not alone on this planet and none of this is for nothing.
Yeah.
And that our lives are meaningless and we're just going to be here for just to suffer, right?
Yeah, I feel that it's scarier if we are alone in the universe.
Yeah, because I like the theory that there's an apex predator out there. Okay. That's been like wiping out civilizations. And that's why they say at some point, imagine like aliens come in and they're like, hey bro, stop sending radio out there. They're going to find you.
Oh no. They're listening to Elvis out there, guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The golden record that we sent out there. You know, right?
Yeah.
Right? They put fucking Elvis on there. So Elvis will forever
he's making me feel weird.
They start gyrating their hips, dude.
Right?
Oh Lord. All right. Go ahead, Javi.
So the Younger Dryas impact. That's what what's the name loves to play on a lot.
Hancock?
Graham Hancock. So it's basically a comet impact that occurred about 12,800 years ago, and it basically created the Younger Dryas cooling period, which contributed to megafauna extinction. So essentially, it's like an ice age where a comet hit, kicked up so much dust and stuff into the atmosphere that it caused an ice age because the temperature of the earth was cooling down. So it killed all of the megafauna, it killed all like plant life and stuff like that, and whoever was alive during that time, whether that be humans or not. And after the ice age, there's only like 12,000 humans left on earth. So I get that theory.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we had to repopulate and figure it out, And that's why he said like it affected human populations because of that natural disaster, what he believes happened. But a lot of people kind of refute it because they're like, well, in actuality, there's no evidence that a comet hit us 12,800 years ago.
Some of the key evidence is I picked the wrong one to go. nano diamonds.
Yes.
Weird. Okay. And other impact-related material in sediment layers. Platinum spikes in ice core and sediments. What are we talking about here? I'm so confused now. Widespread wildfires and carbon-rich black... Oh, okay. We're talking about the evidence we found to back this theory up.
Yes.
That makes sense. The shock fractured quartz at multiple sites. Recent developments. A new study found elevated levels of combustion aerosols in Greenland ice core. So the ice cores they take out, right, and test the different structures. The discovery of shock fractured quartz at multiple sites in eastern USA and the ongoing research on the Hiawatha?
Hiawatha crater in Greenland.
Yeah, so the ongoing research on the Hiawatha crater in Greenland through thought dated to 58 million years ago.
But they say that crater in Greenland is 58 million years old.
That's crazy, dude. The scientific debate is hypothesis remains controversial and not widely accepted. Ongoing studies supporting and refuting the theory and calls for more research and rigorous peer review, right? Like every other theory, that's what they have to go through. The biggest thing out of all this is keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. Think about the things that are going on out there. And even if science says not to think about it a little bit. Play with it.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're not hurting anybody, you're not affecting anybody's life. You're not trying to like go out there and kill people. Play with it. Play with the ideology. Think about it a little bit. That's fun. And comment down below what you think. Which one of these do you think? Is it all about the circles? Huh? Mm-hmm. Is it all about the circles? Is it all about fucking Atlantis? Huh? With your fucking stupid. But is it Atlantis? Is Atlantis the one you think of? Or is it the alien intervention? Comment down below. Let us know what you think about that. And just stay with it and think about that. Keep that open mind. I like, the most I like the alien theory.
Yeah, the alien's really fun to think about.
I think that's what is probably the most plausible.
Yeah.
And what I think that could maybe potentially happen.
Yeah.
I think so. Our next episode, okay, before we sign out of here, our next episode is a little surprise. So you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait and you have to tune in because it's going to be fucking fantastic. It's going to be something we've never done before, something we've got a great opportunity to try. So make sure that before you get off this episode, you like, comment, hit the little bell, okay? So that way you're able to see it. And then remember, if you're a Patreon member, you get a shout out at the end of every video and you get to see us early. You get to see Javi and Matt early. You get to see us on Tuesdays and not on Fridays like everybody else, huh?
And you get to see the uncut stuff.
You get to see all the uncut stuff.
Yeah, like that, right? That's Javi showing his asshole to the camera.
And you missed it because you're not a Patreon member. Why wouldn't you want to be a Patreon member? Javi, what did you think about your cigar?
Good as always. I'll rate it a 9.
Yeah, CHF is a 9. Dude. You know
delicious.
What? Bonet, Justin, if you're ever watching these, keep up the shit you're doing, man. This shit is so good. I don't think I've had a bad Bonet yet.
Nope. I
like them all. I like the small runs that you do. I think keep the small runs. I like it. I like the idea. This Easter Wabbit, fucking great. Really good cigar. I know they're available at Club Humidor still.
Yeah,
so if
San
you get
Pedro.
the chance, San Pedro, I know for sure they're there. So if you get the chance, you made it this far, make sure you go and check them out. I give this a 9 too, man. I think I give it a 9. It's great.
The next episode's gonna be like 2-3 hours long.
Yeah, so you better be ready. You better buckle up for this next episode. But it's gonna be fun. Like I said, it's something we've never done before, but we got the opportunity to do it, and so we took the chance, and we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
But please make sure when you get out of here, like, comment. We enjoy you guys here. Thank you for watching us again. Thank you for growing. We're at 142 subscribers on YouTube, but even that we're incredibly grateful for. And we like the fact that there's at least 142 people out there that want to hear what we have to
100%.
say, which is crazy. And I'm sorry you have no more time to do anything else but listen to us. I apologize for ahead of time, but turn on the bell. Make sure you turn on the bell so that way you see, and then you see whenever we post a new video. And then make sure you go and follow us on social media. We're everywhere. But other than that, we're two guys rambling, and we're out of here. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank you.